Hello comrades, welcome back to another video and another breaking news section. So the situation around Kupiansk has become much clearer now. There's no fighting in the city, however there's fighting close to, and the Ukrainians have indeed advanced a very far distance past Shevchenkova. However, there are reports that the Russians are planning a counter-offensive to retake some of the lost territory. It looks like the situation is under control for now for the Russian side, and that they will attempt to retake some of the territory. The reason why this push has been so successful for the Ukrainians seems to be that most of the troops conducting this offensive are Ukrainian troops who have been trained by the British in NATO doctrine, and a lot of foreign mercenaries, volunteers, whatever you want to call them, participating in this. So it is a NATO operation planned by NATO officers and commissioned by NATO soldiers working together with NATO trained Ukrainian soldiers. So this is a complete NATO operation. So what we're seeing here is not Russia versus Ukraine, but Russia versus NATO, at least NATO level planning and execution. But however, the situation is that the Ukrainians do not have air superiority. They do not have enough capable air support in this area, meaning once the Russians start a counter-offensive, they will have the upper hand again, especially with how the army in Izyum is the 4th tank army of the Russian Federation, meaning that they have up to 1,000 tanks ready and available around Izyum. With the losses and occupied soldiers in the front line and so on, they may be able to send at most 400 tanks, but that should still be enough for the Russians to conduct a successful counterattack. This will be a test for both sides, as the Ukrainians will try to hold on to their gains and take Kupiansk to cut off Izyum from the north, while the Russians will attempt to counterattack the Ukrainians and close this salient, basically cutting off all of their troops. And as I said earlier, this counterattack will determine the fate of the north, as if the Ukrainians succeed, they prove that they are able to conduct a successful counterattack. If they do fail, then they have still proven that they're able to take some land, and it will work well for Ukrainian propaganda. However, the Russians will regain their morale, and they will have taken out a major part and the strongest part of the Ukrainian army. While the news in Balaklia itself is that the Russians are still holding on to the city, about 1,500 Russian soldiers and mercenaries are fighting in the city against the Ukrainian advances, and the Ukrainian forces have focused their attacks on this highway, on these roads, to attack Kupiansk, which was their original target. Contrary to Vesela, which we thought it was. So generally the situation is in a stalemate for now, and we will see what happens further on. Most of the fighting has happened around the roads themselves, meaning that generally the front line should actually look more like this, and that the results of the offensive is still unknown, and we'll have to update later on tomorrow. Thanks for watching and have a great day.